Welcome back. Today we'll be talking about factors of natural numbers. So let's start by defining what a natural number is. So natural numbers are non-zero whole numbers that we use to count. So starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can go on forever and ever. Let's look at an example of a larger natural number. So looking at the number 28. We know that 28 is the result when we multiply 4 times 7. In other words, 4 and 7 divide 28. Or we can say that 28 is divisible by 4 and 7. Okay, 4 and 7 are actually called factors of 28. In general, factors are numbers that divide the number you're looking at with exactly no remainders. When we list factors, we look at all the pairs that multiply to the number we are factoring. So for example, if we look at 28, there are several numbers that multiply to 28. We'll look at all of them. So we have 1 times 28. We have 2 times 14. We have 4 times 7. And nothing bigger than 4 and smaller than 7 multiply to 28. And so we are done when you get to what we call like the middle. When we list our factors, we write them from smallest to greatest, and so we'll write it as 1, 2, 4, 7, 14, and 28. Notice that when we list our factors out this way, starting from the outer to the inner side, we have numbers that pair together to multiply to 28. In this way, we can check that we have all of the factors of 28 by making sure that all of our numbers pair off. Let's try one more example. Let's look at the number 100. What are all the ways we can multiply two numbers to get to 100? I always start with 1 because we know that any number times 1 is itself. Thus, 1 is always a factor of any number. Let's list the rest of the product pairs. So we have 1 times 100, which we already know. And then we just go up from there. So 2 times 50. 3 does not divide 100, so we'll skip 3. But we know 4 times 25 equals 100. 5 times 20 equals 100. And we know that 6, 7, and 8 do not divide 100, so we'll skip those. Finally, we see 10 times 10. If you get to a middle number, like 4 and 7 in our previous problem, or 10 and 10, you've typically found all of the factors. You do not have to check all the numbers from 1 to 100. So the factor of 100 looks like this. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20, 25, 50, 100. We do not write the 10 twice because we make a unique list of factors when we're doing so. So notice again that on the outside pairs, or each of these products will then multiply to 100. So notice, though, that all the numbers that pair off except for this middle 10 number in here. And that's because 100 is a perfect square, which is something we'll talk about another time. So if you end with a factor that doesn't have a pair, you should be able to square it to get your original number. Here are some divisibility tests that we can use to check for factors. The first one is any number that is even must be divisible by 2. So 2 will always be a factor of any even number. The second tip is if you add up all the digits to a number and get a sum divisible by 3, then the number is divisible by 3. Let's do an example. So let's say we look at the number 39. Well, 3 plus 9 is equal to 12. And we know that 12 is divisible by 3 because that's 3 times 4. That means that 39 is also divisible by 3. So that means 39 is also divisible by 3. In fact, it's 3 times 13. Okay. The third trick or tip to checking for factors is that if a number ends in 0 or 5, then it's divisible by 5. And then the last trick is if a number ends in 0, then it's divisible by 10. Thanks for following along today, and I hope this has been helpful in learning how to factor.